The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has rated the President Muhammadu Buhari-led government low on the economy. The NLC President Ayuba Wabba and its outgoing Secretary General Peter Ozo-Eson, in their words, said Nigerians suffered from high cost of living conditions, widespread unemployment, mass poverty, and galloping inequality. And joining me once again to have this conversation, I still have Tunji, I beg your pardon, Abdul Hamid. He is a legal practitioner. Now, before that, we see the NLC fighting for mostly the minimum wage or rights for labor members who are either mistreated or mostly for labor. But now we see them looking at the generality of things. They're talking about the economy, they're talking about insecurity. And one would wonder, should this have not been what labor should have been fighting for from the onset?
It should be. But if you're not bellyful, you can't fight for others. They want to be okay before they can start their fight. Mm-hmm. You know, 18,000 naira minimum wage is something not to, it cannot even take you to anywhere. Even this 30,000 naira, if you calculate it's 1,000 naira per day, can you spend 1,000 naira per day? Particularly if you stay in Lagos, your transport and the other is enough with more than 1,000 naira a day. You know, these are the issues. So they want to ensure that, look, they are able to put their house in order first, get their own a stomach full.
But I still query that, because I'm thinking, if the cost of living isn't high, you would not be questioning how much you're being paid. So I'm saying, maybe sometimes labor, and I'm not in any way trying to put labor on the chopping board here, but maybe sometimes labor puts the cart before the horse. If you query the level of how bad the infrastructure is, if you query how bad the economy is, and query the level of response of government to the people, that would be a foundation, a base, before you even talk about how much you're earning, if it's going to be able to take you home or not. Do you understand me?
Yeah, I agree with you, because that has been a position before now, that rather than labor fighting for minimum wage or maximum wage or whatever, they should be asking the government to make the welfare facility or social amenity available, provide us with good housing, provide us with good roads. You know, if you have good roads, you spend less on your cars. If you have housings, you spend less on renting an apartment or whatever. You know, if they fight all this, it will reduce, because the higher the minimum wage, the more the thing goes up in this country.
Exactly, because I was about to say that anybody. If all of us are not, you go to the market,
and we are all not civil servants. Everybody in Nigeria, we are all not civil servants. It only the minimum will only benefit the civil servant. But thank God they are also talking about economy now and security. I think if they have been doing this, not looking only at the minimum wage issue, maybe would have been better. But notwithstanding, people have even been doing this before then. Nothing has happened. You know, we have a situation in the country I cannot even understand it. Whereby maybe we have leaders who doesn't even care about people, or even don't even know why they were there at the first instance. Once they get to that position, they see themselves as a alpha and omega. They don't, you know, they are supposed to be our servants, but we are now their servants. They are the leader. They prefer to stay alive and see other people die. They prefer to enjoy their life and see other people looking misery.
But should the people also not be blamed for this behavior of our leaders that you're querying? For example, these leaders have had the same attitude, administration in, administration out, and we have failed somewhat to query them. Instead, we allow ourselves to be divided along lines, and so we say, oh, it's my party, why it's a witch hunt. So maybe we are also part of the problem. Are we not responsible
it's not maybe
for these leaders not being responsible to us?
It is not maybe. We are liable or guilty of that. We are not doing our responsibility as citizens. We in a situation whereby we will not criticize our leaders, we will not demand for accountability, or a situation whereby you demand for accountability, they see you as a anti-government or opposition. Your co-followers, not leaders, not all people in government now. But I won't blame them. You know, the attitude. That's why I will not blame the leader most time. But you know, most of them, the attitude of average leader in Nigeria is the attitude of average Nigerians. Everybody is just looking for opportunity to be there. The people who are in the National Assembly today were not the one before now. Do you see them do different things from those that left? They are doing the same thing. The last administration, the 8th Assembly, they budgeted 30 million per senator regarding to buy car. Everybody condemned it. Even some of them that are in the National Assembly now, they condemned the act. They say it was out of insincerity and lack of unconcern for the people. But today, they are buying 50 million. They are budgeting 5.5 billion. The other one budgeted 4.4 billion, which was condemned. But those who condemned them now came in and budgeted 5.5 billion now for their own car. And they are even buying the car too. They are buying it abroad. They are not buying Nigeria because they also decide that, look, even if you are buying a car, why can't you buy within the country? You know, we have people in the country that manufacture car. If you use that one to encourage them, look, if you buy 109 at least for the senators cars from a Nigerian manufacturer, that will go a long way to affect our economy. Do you get it? And the government will come out and bring up policy and say we should not patronize foreign goods. And meanwhile, those in government are patronizing foreign goods. We patronize foreign aid. We patronize foreign medicine. They patronize so many things that is foreign. But they will come back and say Nigerians should not we should encourage local content and forget about what's it called, foreign goods. So you know the laborers have lost the role for a long period of time. They have been compromised in a way by not. They don't always do their job.
You just took my question out, the question out of my mouth. Apparently, a lot of people have somewhat criticized Labour that they have been biased, politicized. They have lost their, their bite before. I mean, in every part of the world, let's say take the UK for example, when Labour decides to go on a strike or stage a walkout, it literally grounds everything, and the governments want to do everything within their powers to deal with whatever Labour is asking for. And most times, those asks are always in the benefit of the average man. But in Nigeria, it seems like it's not necessarily what it is. And there are people who've also blamed Labour leaders for taking bribes and letting the average person suffer.
Yeah, they tend to be right if they blame them for taking bribe, because a situation whereby you call people out for strike, after 1 or 2 days, you go into a meeting, nothing has happened, and you call off the strike. And then thereafter, you see some of them coming out to contest for a particular position, either governor or deputy governor. The former, Ozo-Eson was a former Labour leader when he joined the politics, when he became a governor. In my state, in Kwara State, one of the deputy Labour leader, what's his name again? Ayuba, I can't remember his name right now. Ayuba or something. Yeah, he also contested the election as governor of Kwara State last election. So they tend to use our opportunity as a stage to lift themselves up and then make money and then do whatever they want to do. You know, the situation is that, like I said, every leader or everybody in Nigeria are there for themselves. We are too self-centered. We are too self-conscious. We don't care about others. We see everything as me, 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 me. One day, okay, everybody's okay. You see people in Nigeria, when people are complaining there's no light somewhere, somebody will call and say, what light are you talking about? When in my own area, I'm having light for 24 hours. Is it your area alone that is Nigeria? You know, and they will not say, what are you talking about? The government is trying. We have been having light in our area. Somebody just call and say, in my area, there has been no light for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. You are saying because you are having it, everything is okay. So until we see everything as ourselves, not myself, not me, even our leaders, they see everything about themselves. They look only about what will affect. What. You see the National Assembly. Did you hear any noise about whether APC or PDP when they are buying the car for themselves now? If it has to do with politics, they will see them. They will be divided. Even the Labour have been divided into two. We now before we don't have a TUC separately or whatever or whichever. Now we have a separate a division of the Labour. So the NLC. they try to divide them into numbers so that they'll be able to play their politics. And most of them are also into politics. They are just there. I won't lie to you. Most of them are politicians. But those who are Labour leaders are politicians.
If all of this that you have, pointed out, who really speaks for the average person out there who is either a civil servant or working in whatever company and is at the mercy of whoever is at the top, who speaks for the average person? Because on this call by the NLC, they're querying government on insecurity, on power. They're talking about government shares in discos and gencos. They're talking about minimum wage and all of those things. Yes, these are real issues, but could this be another tactic of the NLC, or is this really the NLC coming out to say we need a change and we need it now?
Yeah, I think it may be, you know, the minimum wage has not been implemented. So it may be a grant to say, okay, we want to ask for enforcement of our implementation of the new minimum wage, and by that they want to carry along the people. They want sympathy of the people. Then they will introduce the issue of economy and other, so that people will also join them in that regard. And at the end of the day, when they will discuss, they will forget about the issue of economy. They will start talking about the minimum wage of 18. You know, the issue there has not been sincerity among our leaders and between those who call themselves our leaders, even the followers. We are not sincere to ourselves. We are always also interested in what we are going to gain from the majority of people in this country. Once they are able to cross to that level, they forget about what they have said before, or what they were trying to say they are planning for before. So like I said earlier on, until we all think Nigeria, until we think about everybody, until we think about people who does not have the advantage of getting to where some people are now. Ordinarily, the members of the National Assembly are supposed to be a mouthpiece at the federal, while at the state is member of the House of Assembly. But they are all part of the system. They don't even care about. Once they join, they get there. They don't consider themselves as part of you again. They see them as a different species of a human being. So until we all decide to play as human beings, to see ourselves as what is good for me is also good for Mr. C. Mm-hmm. What is good for the son of a senator is also good for the son of a yam seller or whatever. That is when we'll be able to enjoy life in this country.
From where you sit or where you stand, do you see, or how ready are we to embrace what you're recommending, or speak in one voice to get the kind of change or development or turnaround that we deserve as a people in a democratic system? Do you think Nigerians are ready?
I think we are not ready, because I think today we are in more difficult situation because we are more divided in politics, in terms of religion, in terms of ethnicity. If you start to speak bad about not even bad, you try to criticize the policy of the government, or you try to ask for accountability. Some people who are Christian, some people who are from the side of the president will tell you it's because you hate the president, or it's because you are a PDP, or it's because you are ADP. It's because if the APC talks about an issue that has to do with people who are the PDP or whatever, even they are saying the truth, they will say because they are in opposition. That's why you are hunting them, or you are following. You are going. You know, we have been divided in this line, and we cannot even grow if we continue to go like this. So until we decide to say, okay, we want to live as one. We want to see ourselves as whether Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, or whatever you are. Because I don't even see the benefit of my brother being the president. I'm told by ESA the road that led to former president's what's it called, hometown. It's not tar. I'm also told that they don't have water, and they have president for how many years? 6 years. So what is the essence of my brother is the president, or it might be my town man? What will benefit? What will be the benefit? What will benefit me in that? If my town man is in president, and he will not do anything that will work for the country. So it's better for you to have somebody that will work for everybody than having people from the town that will not do anything for anybody. I think until we think in that line, I bet it's going to be very difficult, because we are more divided these days.
How long the time do you think this will take?
I can't even tell you. I can't say that. I can't say my mind on here.
Wow.
I won't lie to you. If I say they will see me as I will be discouraging some people.
Well, it's always a very tough one to swallow. But I want to say thank you to you, Tunji Abdulhamid. He is a legal practitioner. Thank you very much for taking out time to be with us to have this conversation.
Yeah, welcome.
We'll take a short break for our plus packages, and when we return, I will be giving you my take. Stay with us.
The Nigerian Army has urged security and paramilitary agencies to form a common front aimed at fighting crime and criminality. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Brutai, made this known at the Army's Directorate of Army Public Relations third quarter study period for 2019 holding in Kaduna. He urged participants representing the different security and paramilitary agencies to shun interagency rivalry, saying a synergy can achieve tremendous success against terrorism. General Butai, who was represented by the General Officer commanding 1 division in Kaduna, said they must all work together as partners in progress.
Our own contribution is to support the nation in what the army is doing, not to celebrate their challenges and their difficulties, but to be with them. We are all part of this country, and we have a responsibility when there is war, when there is challenge. So all of us have what to contribute.
In order to appreciate the crucial place of communication in effective management of crisis, there is a need to contextualize the essence of the crisis situation to be managed. By crisis, we are referring to those situations that have tended to or have the capacity to plunge the nation or society into a state of insecurity, strife, disorder, and violence.
It's time for my take. So they say that the people or leaders are a mirror of society. In other words, if you have bad leaders, it means that the society in itself is somewhat bad. But can that be a blanket statement that serves for every time a leader refuses to do his job or somewhat decides not to do their job or acts like they do not know their job? Could that be a phrase we can hold on to? And the NLC has come out to say, well, the presidency, the government, leaders, we are not seeing you work on our economy. Our economy is failing. Insecurity is a big issue. People are dying. Kidnapping has become a thing in Nigeria. In fact, it has escalated to the point where church leaders, priests have to come out to the streets to protest because they have to pay ransom to release their fellow priests on a daily basis. And the average Nigerian who's being kidnapped also, who does not have anybody in the federal government or who does not ever get a visit from the vice president or anybody else, is also on that particular ladder, complaining bitterly. And the NLC has come out to say, we need the federal government to deal with the economy, deal with insecurity, deal with infrastructure, pay our minimum wage. But maybe for me, I'm just thinking, maybe the NLC has woken up to its responsibility. This is what you should be advocating for. Labour is supposed to speak for the people. So I'll say bravo, NLC, you need to do better. And then finally, the issue of Boko Haram. We celebrated 10 years of insurgency. Should we be celebrating? Should we be trying to up our game? Because it seems like the war against insurgency is unending, it's continuing, but are we having the upper hand? The answer is no. But then the leaders, our leaders, the defense headquarters, Mr. President and Mr. President's aides are not necessarily painting the right picture to us, so we don't even know who to believe or what to believe. Where do we go from here? We cannot keep acting like we do not know what the issue is. We hear people are benefiting from this war. Of course we know that. But how many more Nigerians are going to keep bleeding for the government to rise to its responsibility? Think about it. I am Maryann, and it's been Plus Politics.